Maybe just give people a little bit of an overview of what the findings of the report.
Well, we were asked to write this report on the future of where we see the future of the agri-food industry in Alberta. So we started by putting it into context and where we are as an industry, the size, etc. And I think we surprised a number of people in that regard because we showed that our agri-food industry from farm to plate is a $56 billion industry, considerably larger than anybody had anticipated, because they usually think of agriculture as primary agriculture, etc. So this was a bit of a surprise in what they had, and they were quite intrigued with that and allowed us to go into more detail of where we are, where the opportunities are going forward. And that was kind of what the report is a little bit look of the current, but the future and where we could go.
In terms of on that knowledge gap and vocabulary gap, in terms of defining what agri-food is and the journey of food, do you think that there's a large gap there that a lot of people that need to understand that it goes way further than they think?
I think there's a huge gap by the general public, and even a lot of our political leaders are not looking at that. Often when they think of agriculture, in many ways, many people think of grandparents' farms and the production side, and certainly that is the core and the base from which all things grow. But it is much more than that. It is all the processing side. It is the food. It is the ingredients components that go into that. And when you start showing all the opportunities and all the jobs and all the things that are involved in this great industry, the largest employer in Alberta, the largest GDP in Alberta, this is a bit of a surprise. And to me, a story that needs to be better told and elevated to recognize the contribution we really make to the province and to the country.
Coming out of the pandemic, how much of a growth do you think? Agriculture is obviously one of the leaders, sort of thing, coming out of the economic growth. How big of a leader is it going to be, and how much is it going to open people's eyes?
I think I'm not sure we could even imagine what it could be. When we start looking at carbon capture and what can be done in that, when we start looking at all of the technologies from autonomous vehicles to processing, to the ingredient stuff that can be done in the whole works, to biofuels, to bioplastics. Wow, there is a huge number of these things that are there. So where can we go out of here? All I would say to anybody who is interested in looking, the agriculture and food industry is an industry of jobs. It's an industry of investment. It's an industry of growth, and it's an industry that addresses many of the issues that the consumers have on their mind, from climate change to carbon capture. That's what the agri-food industry is all about.
Was there anything that really jumped off the page? I mean, you have decades and decades and decades of experience here in Alberta in agriculture. Was there anything in compiling this report that even surprised you?
I would say I knew it was big. I knew it was important. I think when you start putting the numbers together and you really see how big it is and how important it is every single day of the year and what we're contributing, it makes me pretty damn proud to be part of this industry.
Excellent. And quickly, because I always do this with studies, what would you like to see done with this study now that it's been completed and put together?
A bunch of things. I would like the general public to be able to recognize and realize that this is an industry of the future, not just with a great past. This is an industry of the future. I would like our political leaders, our government leaders, to be able to say, hey, this is an industry that intersects with environment, that intersects with trade, that intersects with health, with intersects with technology. This is an industry, and we should be at the table to make Canada even stronger. And I think I would say to the others, to others around the globe, this is an industry, in Alberta in particular, the quality of the products that we provide, the quality of our entire workforce, from our employees to our owners. This is quality in action, and come on in and let's see it grow. And together we can go a long ways together.
Awesome. Kim, anything you'd like to add that I haven't asked you?
Probably not. This is, I'm pretty excited about the industry you're in, and I think the more people that get into it, the more excited they can get into it in that regard. And you know, we're not just an industry of rural; we're an industry of urban as well. So people that are listening and say, "Well, I never thought of being. I'm not from a farming background." Hey, there's lots of things, from banking to technology. There's lots of neat things that they can be involved in.